Welcome to Faith and Fire, where we get a little closer to our faith. Rick Ruger, let's light it up. Oh, welcome to Faith and Fire. Come and take it higher, where we get a little closer. Lift our hearts from the fire. Through the struggle and the pain, we won't ever retire. Find your faith in the word, then we turn up the fire. Yeah, faith and fire, yeah, we taking you higher. Truth in every word, let it build that fire. From the trials to the truth, we rise up, inspire. Rick Ruger bring the message, now we light that fire. Faith, faith, fire. Stay in your faith, keep the fire. Welcome to Faith and Fire.
Hey, welcome to Rick Ruger's Faith and Fire, episode number 5, and I'm really excited about this one. I'm generally excited about all of them, you know what I mean, but I'm a little bit more excited about this one because in this episode, we're going to be talking about something that's really important to me and something that I've been talking about a lot lately because the older I get, the more I realize the less you have. You know, you think you have all these things, but really it does just boil down to a few. And if you don't have those things, then your life is generally not in a good position. So I want to say happy Sunday to everybody, BDR, Mosh, Decay, Kyle. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little tired. Last night we had the Rick Ruger review show. We went all the way to like 9 o'clock. Then we had cinematic and the SHIT show. So you know we were up later than usual. But that's all part of what we're going to talk about today. Actually, happy Sunday to everybody. Happy Sunday to my godmother Denise. I love you, and you've always supported me, always. I just, you know, again, it boils down to just a few things, and only a few. Not everybody in your life is going to meet, you know, the criteria. The people you want to meet that criteria the most tend to be the ones that, you know, let you down. So we're going to talk about it today. And this is for like all my brothers, everybody that comes through the Rick Ruger reviews community. You guys have been so supportive and shown me so much love, and it's really gotten me into a different place mentally. BDR said he felt he had to be here, been battling recently, and feel this is a perfect place to be. BDR, man, that's great to hear that, brother. And listen, I'm glad that you're here. All right, I'm glad that you're here. Last night we did review some of the EP, and you make beautiful music, brother. But for whatever you're battling with, if something told you to be here, I'm glad that you're here. You're one of the people that I consider in my brotherhood. So it's only fitting that you do be here. So, brotherhood, loyalty, surrounding yourself with solid people that have solid energy, right? You know the saying, show me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are, something to that effect. Well, how about show me your friends and I'll tell you your future? How about that? Because that's really what it ends up being. You choose your friends and your circle early in life. If you choose the wrong one, well, I think we all know what happens. So we're going to talk about brotherhood first. So, but what even is brotherhood? Well, brotherhood is a friendship that runs deeper. It's something that's built on trust, respect, accountability, and most importantly, the one that I connect with the most is a shared struggle. If me and you share the same struggle, and then there's trust and respect and accountability between us, then I think we're well on our way to forming a brotherhood. Now, I'm going to talk about all these things first, and then I'm going to show you how it ties into the Bible and what God said. But first, let's just cover what these basic things are. You know what I mean? So, respect, trust, accountability, and a shared struggle. Those are the foundations for any good brotherhood. It means standing together in good times and then obviously when things are not so good. It's not something that's about convenience, because I noticed a lot of that. It's about commitment, and then commitment reverts back to standing together in good and bad times. That is literally what commitment means. So then what is loyalty? Loyalty is staying solid, okay? You hear me? Staying solid when things get hard. Loyalty is having someone's back when they're not even around, when they may never even find out that you had their back. You know what I mean? When you have someone's back in silence, and it will never you don't do it for show. You don't do it because you want them to find out about it. You do it because you genuinely rock with that person. And then so you naturally feel the urge to protect them when they're not around. So also staying true when tested. So you find yourself in a situation where you're tested and you flip on your on your friends in the brotherhood, then you were never loyal. No matter what, you have to stay true. It also means not switching sides, and when stuff gets, when situations change and stuff gets hard and you get tested. Well, yeah, it's real easy to switch sides. You know how many people I have seen do that? Back in the day, that was almost unheard of. Switching sides? Now, it's like, these cats today, it's tough out here. Loyalty is proving under pressure, not comfort. Yeah, it's easy to be loyal when it's comfortable. You know what I'm saying? If you got a couple feds in your face, how loyal, you know what I mean? Like, it's easy to be loyal when things are going great. But true loyalty is proven when things are not going good. You know what I mean? When you're tested. It's protecting them when they're not around. It's staying true no matter what, and it's never switching sides. It's never switching sides. So, why does brotherhood matter in your everyday general life? Well, right off the bat, okay, life is hard. And you're not really meant to do it alone. And I'm going to show you in the Bible where it says that. But we're going to get into that. But right now, I just want to define these terms. Okay? You're not meant to do life alone. People who live alone don't live as long. And brotherhood provides a support system during your struggles. It also provides guidance in situations that you may not be able to see clearly because you're too close to it. And then it takes somebody in your brotherhood to come and say, hey, man, listen, man, what you're doing is, you're in a situation that's not great for you. You understand what I'm saying? So it also is strength and weakness. When one of your people in the brotherhood are they're weak because of whatever situation they have found themselves in, that's where all three of these things come into play. When you fall, real brothers don't laugh. They pick you up. They don't poke fun and laugh at your situation. They're right there to say, hey, man, let me help you up. So how powerful is having the right people, the right brotherhood, real people around you? How powerful is that? There's my son, Chrissy. Chrissy B, what's up? I guess that's my son. He said, what's up, Dad? Nah, yo, I'm messing with you. I know your dad's in here, bro. I'm messing with you. God bless y'all, man. It's nice to see y'all. So what is the power in having a brotherhood? Like, why even bother, right? Well, your environment shapes you. Every day we hear, is a product of his environment. So the people around you, they influence you. They influence your mindset, your habits, your decisions, and they also influence your future. And that's why I said, show me your friends and I'll tell you your future. So that's why it's important. Everybody's going to surround themselves with somebody, almost everybody. And you need to be super mindful to who you let into your circle, who you give your brothership to. You have to be extremely mindful. Okay, so you want to build a good brotherhood. You understand the importance of surrounding yourself with people that are solid and have solid energy. Okay? So how do you know that someone is solid? Number one, they tell you the truth. Even when the truth sucks. Okay? Look for that. Look for that person in your life that's always, hey, man, how you handled that or what you said or what they're doing. Or look for that inconvenience truth that you really don't want to hear, but you know that they're telling you because it's coming from a place of true love, really. Also, they celebrate your wins without jealousy. How big is this right now? They celebrate your wins without jealousy, without competition. They just celebrate. They're happy for you. If you do music, they share your music. Whatever your craft is, whatever you're doing behind the scenes, they're involved. They're helping. They want to help. They're there for you. They want you to win. They're your biggest cheerleader. They're your biggest, helper, assistant. Whatever you need, they're there. Also, they check on you. They check on you when you're wrong, whether you're right or wrong. How about that? That's brotherhood right there. That's brotherhood right there. Say you did something that was wrong. You say you flew off the handle and you said some comments to somebody that was wrong. Or you just did something really messed up. Whatever the case may be, say you're dead wrong. Do they still call you or text you? Like, hey, man, you okay? I mean, I know, you know what I mean? Look for that. Look for that. They don't disappear when everything gets tough. When you mess up and you get canceled, they'll never do that. And they want to see you grow. Look for that too. Look for that too. Look for someone that tells you, hey, man, you should stay in school. You're messing, your grades are messing up and this ain't what you need, buddy. You know what I mean? Like, look for that person, whatever the case may be, that wants to see you grow, that gives you good advice, positive advice, advice that takes you away from things that are negative that are going to impact your future. This is huge right here. This is huge. Look for those type of people. And I'll tell you what, I'll stop this whole proceeding to tell you. Look in the chat right now. Mosh, BDR, obviously my godmother, Chrissy, my brother Jim. All right, that's a whole other thing, man. One day I'm gonna get into all that because you guys don't even know nothing about that. All right, one day I'm gonna get into that. Look, I have a brotherhood. I have a solid brotherhood. And I only have the Lord to thank for that. Young hitter. I have a solid brotherhood. Every one of the people I just named, they literally fit every one of these criteria. They check every box. My brother, I can text him at whatever hour with the most craziest stuff. And he's right there. Just right there. Any one of y'all I can text right now and get a response like almost immediately. Respect to Paul. Thanks for joining us. So when I tell you that this is such an important topic to me, trust me, it's an important topic to me. And you guys that are close to me, you guys know this is literally what I stand for now. Okay, so those are the signs of someone who is interested in having a brotherhood with you. Now, here's something I also want to talk about. What about those times where you get fooled, where you thought this person was in your brotherhood and part of your solid connection? You thought that they came in like a chameleon, right? They came in like a chameleon. Now, how can you spot that? Now, you can never 100% stop a snake from infiltrating a brotherhood. It's just impossible. You know what I mean? But there are things to look for. There are indications. And once you see them, I think now they're called red flags. Once you see these indicators, you should cut ties and run as fast as you can, because no one is going to hurt you more than someone that you thought was your brother. You thought you could trust them. Nobody can do damage to you more than that person. So it's ultra important that you be mindful of the people. So when you see somebody that claims to be in your brotherhood, but they're only around when things are good, all right? When there's no money and then people are broke and there's nothing to do and times that you don't hear from them. You know why? Because they're somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Leeching off them. So you don't hear from them. But when things get good again, here they come. And now tell me I'm lying. Here they come. The other thing is, I see this a lot in other brotherhoods. I have not seen this in our brotherhood, in the Rick Ruger Reviews community. I have not seen this. And I thank the Lord for that. Gossip or talk behind your back, being in your brotherhood. Look, gossip is so dangerous. My brother Jim did a whole segment on this. Gossip is so dangerous and destructive, and 80% lies. It starts with one little shred of whatever, and then they imagine the rest, and they go on their merry way, and they tell as many people as possible because it sounds good. And then people get a hold of it, and then here they go, and they run with it, and they tell, and they tell. And every time someone passes the gossip along, they add a little sauce. They add a little bit more to it. These are not your brothers. This person is not in your brotherhood. He's a snake. He's lying. He's infiltrated. You see this indicator immediately, the very first time. And we don't do that, do we? We find out someone says something about us, and Either we laugh it off and just keep it in the back of our minds, which I tend to do a lot, or we just confront them and, oh, sorry, or they lie their way out of it and we forgive them, and then, oh, here they come. And next time they do it, it's super destructive to your life. This is a situation where you must cut ties and run. As soon as you notice that they're only around when things are good and they gossip behind your back, that's the first one. If they're talking behind your back, bro, I hear this all the time and I've seen it. I've had people call me, not in my brotherhood, before I started Rick Ruger Reviews. I've had people call me and talk about the people that they hung up the phone with me, okay, and then went and hung out with them people. Do you think that person is a brother to that other person? Or a solid connection in any way to that person? No. And one day, he's going to do damage. The other thing is, do they compete with you instead of support you? Remember when I said you're looking for people that celebrate your victories? They're right there. They're your assistant. They're your cheerleader. Whatever you need. But instead of that, are they quiet? Are they quiet? For you guys that do music, if somebody's video gets 1,000 views in one day, are you quiet? Are these people quiet? Or do they compete with you? Do they say, oh, yeah, but I had a video that did whatever? Or whatever the situation may be. Are they in competition with you? Or are they helping you, celebrating your victories? As soon as you see a competition trying to compete, downplaying your victories that you know you worked hard on, cut ties, run as fast as you can. Do they disappear when things get hard? No money, no, you know what I mean? No, nothing good going on in your life, and you just down and out, and again, they're not there. The other thing, and this goes back to what I was saying about they want you to grow. Do they encourage bad decisions? Do they tell you, yeah, man, let's go over there and bust up the window? Yeah, I mean, let's go do this. Let's go do that. Right? Because now that's a devil. That ain't even, that's Lucifer that has infiltrated your brotherhood. But we'll get to that. For right now, we'll just call it a chameleon. Do they encourage your bad decisions? Let me tell you something, because if they do, they don't care about your future. They care about right now, having fun, whatever's going to get them what they want. They don't care about your future. Because if they encourage bad decisions, they don't care if you go down. And when you do go down, revert back to only around when things are good. Don't count on them. Once things go bad and they've encouraged and they've given you horrible advice, and they may have even facilitated bad situations and then encouraged you to be a player or a main player in all of that. Trust me, when that crashes down, you can look, get you a pair of binoculars, because you're not going to find them. And I promise you, and everybody in here knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's almost like loyalty versus convenience. Convenience says, I'm here. You got money, it's payday, whatever. I always go back to money because I think that's like what motivates most people, but it could be anything. Meanwhile, loyalty says, I'm here no matter what. No matter what. When it's good, when it's bad, when we balling, or when we on the bench, I'm here. Anybody can celebrate you when you up top. Anybody can. You bump into a stranger. You ball, yeah, I mean, everybody celebrates your victories. Everybody wants in on that. Who will suffer with you when you lose, when you don't get the victory? Who will be there and suffer with you? Your brotherhood, the real brotherhood. When you're alone, you're limited. But when you're together as a brotherhood, you're stronger. Brotherhoods, they build strength. Brotherhood gives accountability, motivation, protection, and wisdom. Because what one person doesn't know in the brotherhood, someone else does. And therefore, it's a perfectly fine-tuned machine that's humming. Iron, how many times do we say steel and blade sharpen blade, iron sharpen iron? Well, you know what? Real brothers make each other better. Just like that. Just like iron and steel rubbing up against each other. That sounded weird. So the importance is you have to choose the right circle. And then you got to ask yourself, are these people pushing me forward, or are they holding me back? Do they want me to grow, or are they encouraging me to do horrifically terrible decisions in my life? Do they respect my growth even when I do something that to change my life or to better myself? How many times you had people around you where like, maybe you wanted to quit drinking or get off drugs or something like that. And right, that's where you find a lot of this. They don't want you, they want to pull you back into that life. They don't challenge you to improve. But the right circle of people, they will challenge you to improve. If your circle isn't helping you grow, then it's doing the opposite. Right? If it's not helping you grow, it's doing the opposite. And you're not in the right circle. Now, we talked a lot about other people, what to look for in other people. But let me tell you that this whole thing goes both ways. You have to be a solid person too. You have to be somebody who keeps their word. You show up. You keep it real, 100. And you support everybody with the same support that you expect from your brotherhood. You have to also be that one. And also remember that you attract what you are. If you're a phony, and bro, how real is that? You attract what you are. That is 100% the truth. That's why I think that our brotherhood and our circle and everything that's going on at Rick Ruger Reviews, that's why I think everything been so solid. I'm attracting what I am, and I would like to think that I fall in the category of a lot of this right here, man, because I am all about loyalty and brotherhood, and that's all I have left in life. That's all I have left in life. As far as personal currency, with solid people that have solid energy, you grow faster. You make better decisions because they're not encouraging you to do horrible stuff. You stay grounded. You don't fly off the handle. And when you do, someone's there to say, hey, bro, listen, man, come here. Let me talk to you. Because what you're getting ready to do ain't good. And it's going to affect your life. That's brotherhood. And it helps you avoid unnecessary mistakes. You know, when I first started Rick Ruger Reviews, there was a situation where I was going to diss somebody, and somebody else that is in my brotherhood had to come and tell me, you shouldn't do that because you're wrong in that situation. And if you do that, this is going to happen, that is going to happen. And let me tell you something, because if he wouldn't have told me that, I was already writing it. I scrapped it, and it was the best decision of my life, and it was a decision that I wouldn't have made on my own. This is the importance of brotherhood. Without them, you're more likely to fall into bad habits. No one there to say, hey, man, that ain't cool. That's messing you up. You know what I mean? There's no accountability. There's nobody around. There's nobody that's, and you feel alone even when you're around people. You know what I mean? You feel alone when you're around people because you don't have any solid connections with anybody. So at the end of the day, here's what you got to understand. Brotherhood is rare. That's why what I have found in my brothers now, I'll fight to the end to keep it, because I know that I've been traveling this world, and these connections have been at a premium. Let's just put it like that. And now it's on, bro. It's on. That's all I'm saying. Mike Powers, what's up, man? So loyalty is earned. And when you earn it, protect it. Because once you lose it, it's gone. Solid people, they cut ties. Because now you've shown that you're not in the brotherhood. And you're going to hurt them. And you're going to hurt the cause. Solid people are priceless, man. Because they're 1 in a trillion. So it seems. Keep them close. In a world full of temporary people, find the permanent ones. And not just that, be one. Be a permanent one. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Everything that we're saying here, that we expect from others, be that one. Be that. Live up to the terms that you expect from others. Because otherwise, you're the chameleon. You're the one that's infiltrated. And you don't want to be that guy. I know you're not that guy. So be the other guy. Be the solid guy. Here's what I want y'all to do. Because this is so important to me, to us. I want you to evaluate your circle. I want you to do it today. I want you to strengthen the ties with the people that are real. If they fit the criteria and they are real in your brotherhood, strengthen that tie. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to distance yourself from people who constantly encourage negativity. They constantly giving you bad advice. Cut ties, man. They don't want to see you grow. In fact, quite the opposite. Maybe they've realized they're never going to grow, and they want to keep you down here with them. Don't do it. Become someone that others can rely on. So, going back to what I just said, be that one. So, that's brotherhood. That's loyalty. That's what it means. That's why it's important. Now that we've defined all of those things, how do these things tie into spirituality and the Bible and what God said? Well, it's wired in us to need a connection. We know that. Some people deny that, but they live alone, but they got a dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, we always need some sort of connection, and it's already embedded in us and pre-wired for you to need that. From the very beginning, God said it's not good for man to be alone. He didn't say it was inconvenient or like, you know what I mean? Like, he said it's not good. Straight up, it's not good. This is Genesis 2, verse 18. We live in a time where, like, people are more connected digitally. They've become isolated spiritually, emotionally. People can't even hold a conversation in person anymore. People have become so detached from reality. And emotionally, I don't know what's going on out there. I'm talking about brotherhood because brotherhoods are breaking down everywhere. Communities have become fragile and everybody's fighting. But I tell you this, God's design for us has never changed. So there's 3 questions. Why does brotherhood matter? From a spiritual aspect, we answered why it matters, in normal terms. But why does brotherhood matter spiritually? What does true loyalty look like What does the Bible say about that? We answered that in real life terms, like what it means, but what does the Bible say about it? And what did Jesus say? And how did Jesus define a community and a model, like being a model citizen in a community, being a good brother? Hey, Money, nice to see you. So understand that from the very beginning, God created us for brotherhood. It's not just friendship. It's a covenant that we have with each other and with God. We're supposed to. Ecclesiastes 4, verse 9 through 12. Two are better than one. If either one of them falls down, one can help the other up. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. That's telling you right now that God wants you to seek good brotherhood. Okay? This is God's design. So it's only natural that, this is what we're looking for. God is showing you with these verses that you're stronger together. You can recover faster together. If one should fall, the other will help him up. And you endure longer together. A strand of 3 is not quickly broken. Now, see, isolation, that's what makes you vulnerable. Isolation makes you vulnerable to life situations, and it makes you vulnerable to the temptations of Satan. Proverbs 18, verse 1. A man who isolates himself seeks his own desire. He rages against all well judgment. It's not good. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, I have sought isolation. I am not above anybody. Okay, this message, I'm talking to me. Once again, I have sought isolation. Now, I'm coming out of my isolation in this last year and a half. But I was isolated for a long time. And let me tell you, in that isolation, nothing really great happened. It wasn't until I came out of it that everything changed in my life. So spiritually, brotherhood protects you. This is what God says about brotherhood. We talked about what we said about brotherhood, right? This is what God says about brotherhood. When you walk alone, you're easier to deceive. You're easier to discourage, and you're easier to destroy. Bro, listen to that last one. You're easier to destroy. What does brotherhood bring? Once again, accountability, strength, and covering. It brings protection. It brings extra, strength is in numbers. How many times have you heard that? Proverbs 27:17. Now listen, this is what I want y'all to really hear. As iron sharpens iron, no man sharpens, so one man sharpens another. As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. So that term that we say all the time, oh yeah, knife on, metal on metal, sharpen metal, it's straight out the Bible. How many of y'all even knew that? You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? Steel sharpens steel. Bro, it's out the Bible, okay? It's right there. It's out the Bible. Real brotherhood is, they don't even just comfort you. They sharpen you. They elevate you. And loyalty is the glue of the brotherhood. And this is coming from the Bible, the spiritually, okay? We talked about what loyalty means to us. God says loyalty is the glue of the brotherhood. Of course, it means staying when it's hard. Proverbs 17:17. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversary. Anybody can stand when you're winning. We talked about this. But loyalty shows up when you're losing. This is what the Bible says. See, a lot of people have been living their lives and saying stuff out the Bible and don't even know where it comes from. So an example, David and Jonathan. So 1 Samuel 18, verses 1 through 3. a soul of Jonathan was knit to the soul of David. Jonathan made a covenant with David. Jonathan risked his throne, his reputation, and his safety, though his literally his life, because loyalty wasn't based and isn't based on convenience. It's based on covenant, blood brothers, brotherhood. And understand that when you seek a good brotherhood, understand that when you are a good brother in your brotherhood, you are honoring God. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're honoring God. Loyalty reflects God's character. When you're loyal, you're honoring God. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassion never fails. They are new every morning. God is loyal to us, even when we fail him. Even when we're not loyal, he's still loyal. So we are called to reflect the same loyalty to others. So once again, brothers and sisters, when you're loyal in your brotherhood and you're a good brother or sister in your brother or sisterhood, and all of these things also include family. Never forget that. This includes family as well. When you're loyal in your brotherhood, that is the glue that will keep your brotherhood together, and you are honoring God without even knowing it. You're reflecting God's character, and you are honoring him with all of your actions and keeping your brotherhood solid. Now, what did Jesus say about brotherhood and community? I'm always interested in what Jesus said about anything. What did he say specifically? Love one another deeply. John 13, verses 34 through 35. A new command I give to you. Love one another as I have loved you. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples. And what he means by that is that when you do these things, they will know that you're his disciple, because now you are acting Christ-like. You are honoring God. It's a reflection of God's character. It's not by your talent, it's not by success, and it's not by your image, but it's by the love for one another. It's because you're bound together by brotherhood, and not by money, and not by talent, and not by achievements or any of that. If we achieve everything, we're bound together. If we never make it off the ground with the things we want to do, but we keep a solid brotherhood, then that's all we ever needed, because we had a brotherhood and we honored God all at the same time. And really, guys, this is all you need in life. And I know it's hard to accept that. For me, this is all you need. The standard really for brotherhood is actually Jesus himself. What better brother in the brotherhood was there? Was there ever a better brother in a brotherhood? Think about the disciples. Think about the time he spent with them. Was there ever in the history of all of life a better brother in a brotherhood than Jesus Christ himself? How did Jesus love? Sacrificially. I mean, I can't even believe that we would have to discuss this, but he loved sacrificially. He loved patiently, forgivingly. And most importantly, he loved consistently. Whether you were accepting of him, whether, you had faith in his words and who he was, or believed any of it, he still consistently loved you. John 15, verse 12 through 13 says, my command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. Bro, did you read what Jesus said there? Did you hear that? There's no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends. This is loyalty at the highest level, and this is what they engaged in. But at the time, brotherhood may have been defined one way, and Jesus came and he redefined it another way. Matthew 12, verse 48 through 50. Who is my mother and who are my brothers? Whoever does the will of my Father is my brother and my sister and my mother. Brotherhood is not just blood. And that is in alignment with God, because that's what Jesus said. Unity mattered a lot to Jesus. John 17, verse 20 through 23. That they may all be one, so that the world may believe that you sent me. Now catch this. Unity amongst believers is evangelism. When we're divided, the world doubts God. But when we're unified, I think the world sees God. Now, that may be hard for people to believe or understand, but I literally have witnessed that. I literally have witnessed that. And I want to give a shout out to Mike Powers, because that's my brother right there. That's my brother right there. And he, again, this is what I'm talking about, brotherhood. He's showing up here today, and I mean, like, that's everything. That's everything. We are definitely brothers, and again, you attract what you are. So you got to believe that that's true. You attract what you are. Unity is strength, BDR. You got that right. So unity mattered to Jesus a lot. Also, let's remember that forgiveness is essential for a good community. Matthew 18, verse 21 through 22. Not 7 times, but 70 times. Brotherhood will require forgiveness constantly. Not 7 times, but 70 times. Now, I don't want you guys to confuse what that means. That doesn't mean forgive everything and anything. Well, always forgive everything and anything. But that doesn't mean that you have to continue to engage in that person, with that person. If that person is draining you with negative energy, how many times have we been around somebody and they just drained you, right? They just drained you. Their energy was just, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah, not 7 times, but 77 times. But you have to, you know what I mean? If the energy is wrong and you know that they're not rooting for you, and they fall into the different category, yeah, you can forgive what they've done. But I think that I'm going to revert back to the original sentiment about everything and cut ties and get them out of the brotherhood. But definitely forgive them. Let them move on with their life. You move on with your life. But no, brotherhood is something so sacred. And I'm showing you straight biblically that how sacred it is. And I don't care if you're reading the Bible or if you're reading the Quran, or it doesn't matter what you're reading. Brotherhood is the central point of God's love and character. It doesn't matter which religion you're reading. The Lord, this is coming from the Lord. These are all things that are included from God. You can read the Torah, it doesn't matter. Unity is a strong point presented by God. Also, it goes back to being that one person. Okay? It goes back to being that person that you want them to be. How many times have you read that stupid meme on Facebook that says, "Oh, I gotta stop expecting me out of other people"? No, you don't have to stop expecting you out of other people. That is ridiculous. What you have to do is find the right people so that you're not posting that stupid meme again. Because that's what happens when you find the wrong people. You have to be the one because you will attract what you are. Mark 10, 43 through 45. Whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant. Meaning, don't let somebody just come running up and all of a sudden you give them the keys to the car, to the house, you give them everything. No, that's not the way it works. There's a process in earning loyalty and trust and everything. You don't just give the keys to somebody right off the top. In God's kingdom, leadership means service. And strength means humility. 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 For the love of God. Humility. Once you find the brotherhood, once you find the people that you want to stay connected with, stay connected. That's what God wants. John 15, verse 5. I am the vine. You are the branches. Apart from me, you can do nothing. The community is built around Christ. It's built around God and not just shared interest. Okay? There has to be some component there of spirituality for the brotherhood to really, really thrive. In the early church, after Jesus ascended, the disciples, they lived everything out. They believed fully at that point. They had seen too much to not believe. They didn't care about repercussions at that point. They had seen too much. They lived out everything. Acts 2, verse 42 through 47. They were devoted to teaching. They were devoted to fellowship. They were breaking bread together, and they were praying together. And look at the result. The Lord added their number daily to those who were being saved. Community then wasn't optional. It was like the engine of growth. Now, things are very different now, and brotherhood is fleeting. You know what I mean? Like, it's at a premium now. Let's not forget that. So what destroys brotherhood according to God? Let's be real. Community, it doesn't just happen, and it can be broken. You get a chameleon, negativity, the gossiping, everything that we already covered. If you let those things creep into your brotherhood, creep into your circle, it will destroy your circle. Your circle is not foolproof. Pride will destroy your brotherhood. Proverbs 16, verse 18. Pride goes before destruction. Gossip will kill your brotherhood real quick. Real quick. Proverbs 16, verse 28. A gossip separates close friends. That's why once you see that it's happening in the brotherhood, once you see the gossiping, talking about another brother in your brotherhood that you love and you would lay down your life for, that person must go. Because that gossip is so negative and destructive, it also catches fire. And we covered all that already. It's horrible for your brotherhood. As soon as you see that, they got to go. Betrayal and lack of loyalty. Obviously, that is a no-fly zone. Any break in loyalty or betrayal and you are out. That person must go. Even Jesus experienced betrayal, but he still chose to love the person that betrayed him. Now, you could love that person and you could forgive that person, but my strong advice is that you then remove that person from your brotherhood because they are a cancer. And until they get themselves right emotionally and spiritually, they're always going to be that way. So build a good brotherhood. Be intentional. Don't accidentally build strong relationships. Be honest. You know, like this stuff happens on purpose. James James 5, verse 16. Confess your sins to one another, that you may be healed. This talks about talking about your trauma, talking about the things that you've done wrong. I literally do this to my brother Jim all the time. All the time. I tell him everything. You know what I mean? Like, and then I did this, and then I refused God again this way. Like, it's, you know, it actually, it helps to talk about it with somebody that understands where I'm coming from, and he's always there, which leads me to the next point: show up consistently. Loyalty is proven over time. My brother didn't just show up for me one time, 2 times, 3 times. Okay? That's the difference. We carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. So ask yourself, who are my brothers? Who can correct me when I'm messing up and doing stuff I'm not supposed to do? Who am I loyal to? Okay? Who are you loyal to? And who are you helping carry their burdens? Because at the end of the day, guys, here's the truth. You cannot live a Christian life alone. Jesus didn't do ministry solo. Okay? He had 12. He invested in a lot of community. Brotherhood is strength, okay? Loyalty is proof, and loyalty is the glue of the brotherhood, and community has always been God's plan. Psalms 133, verse 1. How good and pleasant is it when God's people live together in unity? Community was all part of God's design from day one. So, at the end of the day, God built in me the kind of heart that loves deeply, stands loyalty, and lives in true community. Let's remove pride, remove isolation, connect with the right people, teach our brothers what they need. What you don't know, get them to the people that do know. Be a good brother. Be the person that you want them to be. Guys, I really enjoyed this. It was really great to see some of the faces in here today. BDR, Hitter, Mosh. I love y'all, man. And also, yeah, my godmother, you know I love you. She's been a second mom to me my whole life. Somebody that I can really count on. And that's what we just talked about. And that's how I define my circle. You attract what you are. Take that, let that be one of the takeaways. The second takeaway is be the person you want them to be. You can't expect someone else to be something that you're not. Be that person and watch what happens. And number 3, just understand that when you live in this way, you are living in God's design and you are honoring God. What's up, Matt? Nice to see you. God bless you, man. I hope you have a great Sunday. Thanks for watching Faith and Fire. I'll be back next Sunday with another message. Until then, I hope you guys have a great, great weekend, or the rest of the, today, and have a great week. Be safe out there, and try to block the noise out. You watch the news, all the noise. Try to block that out. Find your circle, find your people, strengthen your connections, and cut ties with the ones that don't want you to grow. I'll see you next time. Have a great week.